Hey everyone, what's poppin' with tea? It's your girl Spicy Niche, and I am here with my men's club review. If you watched my last video, I said I was going to be very consistent with these reviews of the men's club. The first video dropped today. It was 10 a.m. my time, so I definitely got up early, got myself together, watched it, and I am here for the review. So I'm just gonna start with a brief synopsis of what happened in this episode, and then I'm gonna give my feedback. So we start off this episode with Lanre, who is out and meets his new love interest, who is played by Shafi Bello. First of all, can we take a moment to recognize how good Shafi Bello looked in that blonde wig? She looks so good. So we see Lanre falling back into his old ways of dating old women. You know, they get together, sleep together, and that's pretty much Lanre's storyline for this episode. So we now move on to meet Tayo, and he is fully with Tiara. Hadiza is out of the picture, and it's his birthday, and Tiara is planning him a surprise party. Now, this is my problem with this whole Tiara thing. So Tiara is playing a 22-year-old girl, and I think, to me, it's kind of annoying how her character is immature coming from someone who's in that age group, because no 22-year-old that I know acts like that. All this like that is so annoying to me. It's like no 22-year-old I know acts like that. Like at 22, if you live in the US, you are probably, if you went to a 4-year university, you're probably a college graduate, probably about to be in their career field or in their career field. You know, maybe you're even looking for marriage at 22. So for her to be having this giddy, like immatureness is like really annoying, because I don't know any 22-year-old that acts like that. Like personally, as someone in that age group, I was at my parents' house this weekend, and I saw one of my older grandmothers in the family who hasn't seen me in a while, and she looked at me and said, you're so big. How are you so married? I said, I'm not marrying anytime soon. I have some years before I even settle down. So yeah, it's just like, I feel like they can better develop her character. Like, just because you're 22 doesn't mean you have to act immature and like that. That is one thing that has annoyed me since season 2 about Tiara's character. Anyways, that is a Tayo story. So now we move on to Aminu's story, and we see that it looks like Jasmine has had the baby and he's not really interested in her. We see he misses Tumini, and then we see that Patrick has now entered the company, will solidify his position in the company. Now, my issue with this whole Aminu and Patrick issue is that I feel like Aminu's anger is a little bit misplaced. I feel like, you know, he has a right to be mad at Patrick for sabotaging his plans in the past, right? But as of right now, we've progressed past that. Like, he has to understand that Patrick wasn't doing it to necessarily sabotage him. Patrick was doing it as a revenge because Aminu's father left his mother and left her to raise this child on her own and pretty much abandoned Patrick. So he was doing it as like a revenge plot to Aminu's father, not personally to him. So I just feel like Aminu's character is acting very childish, and as an adult he should have grown past that to understand that, yes, my father made a mistake and Patrick wasn't doing it to get back at me. He was doing it really to get back at my father. You know, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion on that. And now we move on to Luis. First of all, I don't know what's going on with Red TV and all this replacing of actors. We first replaced Luis's mom from the first season. We then replaced Patrick's character, and I wasn't mad at that because I feel like this character is better. We then replaced Lola, but now we've gone back to the old Lola, which I don't think anybody is mad at, because Luis and this Lola had more chemistry than the previous one. I did not like him and that previous Lola. And now we have moved to change Tonye's character. So we meet this new actor who's playing Tonye, who pretty much wants Luis to give up the house that he bought when they were getting married. that's Luis's storyline. He's now fully with Lola. Things are looking good for him. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happened in this episode. At the end of the episode, we are in for a shocker. It turns out that Lanre's love interest, the old woman that he was dating, is actually Lola's mom. So that's pretty much what happened in this episode. And now I'm going to air my grievances with the production aspect. So one of the issues I have with Red TV and this show is that I feel like the characters have no growth. The only character that we have seen grow throughout this series is Tayo. He went from being married to being divorced to now being with Hadiza, Tiara, to, you know, we've seen him progress. As for the other characters, Aminu is still here dealing with this Jasmine issue. And what annoys me about this Jasmine issue is that as someone who is as wealthy as he is and who has other friends around him, it would have been as simple as doing a DNA test and we could have been done with this storyline. Like, if they really dragged this storyline through season 3, I would really be annoyed, because it's like, I don't understand how someone of his status has not done a DNA test and how no one in his clan has advised him to do a DNA test. Luis and this Tonye and Lola matter is dragging. Like, I really hope that we get to see Luis advance, maybe with Lola, and possibly get a divorce with Tonye, because them dragging this whole he married her to save family business matter, it's like we're 3 seasons in now. Let's see some growth. And then as far as Lanre is concerned, all we've seen him do is dismiss his old girlfriend Sade, date Mrs. Lawson, and then now he's dating a new older woman. So I mean, I'm hoping maybe they will take the storyline somewhere with this new Shafi Bello's character, but we haven't really seen any growth in any of the characters, like in these past 2 seasons. Everybody has stayed stagnant. The only person whose storyline has progressed was Tayo. So I'm really hoping that the writers and directors take this storyline somewhere else. Another thing that I have an issue with is that throughout all these seasons, they have really like bad lighting in certain scenes. Especially one scene I noticed this episode was when Aminu was having a meeting with, I guess, a possible investor. The lighting for that scene was very dark, and I think it's because they were in a dark area. But just throughout, because I rewatched season 1 and 2 like within these past weeks so I could get ready for season 3, and I've noticed that they have really bad lighting. Also in season 1 and 2, the audio in certain scenes was really bad, so I'm hoping this season they fix that. But I've noticed the bad lighting. One thing I will give kudos to them for this season is that I feel like maybe they hired a new hairstylist. Maybe they hired a new stylist, period, because the cast is looking a lot better. Like, some of the wigs last season, some of the makeup last season, like some of the dressing last season, it's like the characters were not looking their class, if that makes sense. The only character who looked like, you know, who looked like they had money was Aminu. They always had Aminu looking good. They always had the guys looking good too. I feel like it was more on the female aspect where they kind of let certain characters just go and do anything. But from seeing this first episode, it looks like, you know, they've increased the budget or something, and you know, the characters in this episode were looking good. Even Lola's character was looking really good, so I'm happy for that. And yeah, that was this week's episode, short and sweet. Let me know what you guys think of the new Tonye. The other one was kind of getting on my nerves. Everything is I don't know, mommy. I like that stuff was so irritating. I'm like, okay, all right. So I mean, I feel like this new Tonye is gorgeous. Like, she's really pretty. And I just hope that we can get some consistency with the actors at this point, because they have changed actors every single season. I know that's due to, you know, maybe some actors took on new projects or they didn't have chemistry or whatever the case may be, but I just feel like this change of actors thing, like, I hope they don't, if there's a season 4 after this, I hope this is the last season that they will be doing flip flop with actors. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys thought of this week's episode. I feel like I never really have any expectations for the first episode. It's really just to kind of catch us up to where all the characters are. And yeah, we, in the introduction, the intro, theme song intro, we got to see a lot of new characters. So I'm interested to see where they are taking this storyline with the new people that I'm seeing being introduced. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If I was to rate this episode, I would say it was okay. It was okay introductory episode to the season. Yeah, it was all right to me. I just really hope that we can see some character development in this show, because for the past 2 seasons, like I said, nobody has developed. It's been the same storyline for all 3 characters except for Tayo. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this week's episode, and I will see you guys next week for the 2nd episode of Men's Club Season 3. Again, make sure you like this video, make sure you comment and let me know what you thought. If it was just me that noticed some of these little minute details. And yeah, I'll see you next week.